Hey guys, Senior Thesis Bart here with my Once Upon a Time episodes 7 through 9 reviews. So Nimue, Birth, and the Bear King. So basically Nimue is all a flashback explaining how Merlin came to be, how he got stuck in the tree, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, and who Nimue is. So as a lot of people guess, Nimue is both Merlin's lover and the first Dark One. And so the story is that he was, I believe, in Greco-Roman times, he and a friend were stumbling along in the desert and they found the Holy Grail. And they're like, all right, let's drink it because we're dying of thirst and escaping people here. So the first friend goes up and drinks it and he gets basically blown up slash turned into ash. And so Merlin prays to the gods, again, another Greek mythology reference, and then he gets permission to drink it, and in doing so gains the ability to use magic and gains immortality. Now I'm going to pause here and say this struck me as weird because it's like the Holy Grail in our current culture, it used to be a pagan thing, but now it's become a very Christian article or Christian artifact, I should say. So why would he be praying to Greco-Roman deities over the use of a Christian artifact? I don't know. I found it amusing. It was hilarious. So he gets magic, and for the next couple hundred years, he becomes a healer. Now he meets a woman named Nimue, whose attack was, or whose village was destroyed by raiders, and all she wants to do is get revenge in the form of planting these flowers that grew near her village. And so he plants them and they bloom and then they kind of start to fall in love, and he has this weird feeling because usually Merlin can see the future, but Merlin, and you get to see the apprentice as a little kid as a side note, but Merlin can't see Nimue's future and he finds that weird and intriguing, and so they totally hit it off. And Merlin decides later on that he wants to spend the rest of his life with Nimue. The problem is that he's immortal, so he wants to become mortal to spend the rest of his life with her. So what he does is he takes the Holy Grail and he goes to a place that has the first flame, the flame of Prometheus, and with Nimue decides to turn it into a sword so he can cut the magic and immortality out of himself. Now, Nimue is like, why would you do that? Why would you want to give up immortality? And you can kind of see where this is going. And so when they get to the flame, you meet the person who destroyed Nimue's village, and it turns out he was looking for the grail as well, but it was turned into a sword, so he can't do anything about it. He stabs Nimue, and Arthur thinks Nimue is dead, and basically just lets the dude go until Nimue comes back and kills the raider and becomes the Dark One. But she's immortal because she actually drank from the Holy Grail when Merlin wasn't looking. So that act of darkness, or she, I think, pulls out his heart, is what she does, sorry, and then crushes it in her bare hands. That act of darkness turns her into the first Dark One, and in retaliation, so no one can take her immortality away as the first Dark One, she breaks the sword. So now it's a sword and a dagger. The problem with this is we're not sure how long ago it is. It says somewhere around like 500 to 700 years before everything took place, but it's supposed to be past a millennia because the Dark One's been around for a very, very long time, and Rumple himself is over 200 years old. So, again, timeline confusions, but we won't worry about that. Merlin uses the dagger to, and that's also why Merlin couldn't read her future, because you can't read the future of the Dark One. So Merlin uses the shorter end of the broken sword forms a dagger out of it and tethers it to the Dark One. So now you have the Dark One's dagger. And then he just kind of hid the other one away until someone was ready to reunite them and cut the darkness out once and for all. And that is basically the end of Nimue. Now we get to Birth, and Birth is about why Emma became the Dark One. And long story short, it's because Arthur's a little jerk. And so Arthur kidnapped Emma's family, and she has to use dark magic to break them free. And retaliation for doing so, I'm going to do the flashbacks and then go to the present. And ruin a plot twist in the way. In retaliation for doing so, Hook accidentally gets cut by Excalibur, but since it's a magical wound, it can't be healed by normal means, and the only way to save Hook's life is to tether him to the sword because it still has the power of immortality. But in doing so, if he becomes tethered and Emma sacrifices is selfish in this way, and cuts Merlin free, because Merlin's still tethered to a sword. If she cuts Merlin free and tethers Hook to it, she in essence creates a new Dark One. But to save Hook's life, she does so. But in this act of selfishness, she also becomes a Dark One. So congratulations, Hook and Emma. You are the Dark Ones now. There are 2 Dark Ones going around. Pretty big plot twist. No one saw it because you never really saw Hook act dark or use magic in the normal realm in the present, so no one's knowing what's going on. That, in essence, explains all of Emma's reactions of why she wants to unite the sword and wiped everyone's memories, is so that she can fix what she's done before anyone finds out. So in the present, Hook goes on this quest. He's trying to figure out why Emma's doing all this. She says it's because of him, and then he's like, no matter what you did, I'll forgive you. And then he finds out that she's a Dark One because of Zelena, or he's a Dark One, and then he just goes on a rampage, and you're like, that doesn't add up. But regardless, the other part of the story is that Emma used magic to make Zelena's baby mature faster, to the point where it's like it's been 7 months in just a matter of like 15 to 20 minutes. And it was really freaking really funny because they have Frankenstein, aka Dr. Wales, aka what's his name, I forget his name right now, from iZombie. And it's really funny because they also mention he has bleached hair, and everyone's like, what's up with your hair? And he's like, what, Emma can change her hair, but when I change mine, everyone goes crazy? What is this? So they get the baby out, and then Emma takes Zelena hostage, uses Excalibur, or was going to use Excalibur to kill Zelena, and then suck the darkness out of both Emma and Hook, which everyone would be thankful for because no one in the town likes Zelena. But they have to be a good person and stop her, and Hook and Zelena escape, and then Zelena reveals that Hook is the Dark One, and that's kind of where the episode ends. Now, for the Bear King, I'm going to admit I wasn't interested in this episode. I did not watch this episode, mostly because A, it was filler, B, bad review, C, one of the worst episodes I've heard of the whole show, and D, I am personally against bringing back characters of whatever gender, whatever sexuality, just so you can reintroduce them as romance characters, either for each other or for a character that's already been in the show. I'm against that as a premise. I'm against using romance of any kind unless it's for either to show off a character trait within the romance that needs to be shown, or character development. Now, or a plot purpose, I guess, but because of that, and I tried the episode, it was boring. This will probably be the first and only episode of Once I Skip. Honestly, you didn't miss much because there's nothing to miss unless they develop it later on. Then I'll go back and do an actual review, but for now, this is all you're getting. So Nimue, I gave that an 8.5 out of 10. Birth, I'll give an 8.8 to a 9 out of 10. And The Bear King, I can't give a number review because I didn't review it. But anyways, that's it for now. Like, comment, subscribe. iZombie's coming up, and seeing your thesis Bart signing off.